Hello, and I wish you all a nice day. It's 10:38 a.m. in Izmir, Turkey. I'm recording this on the Friday the 13th, and we are very close to the Halloween, the 31st of October. So both of these coming together must be very evil expectations, maybe, huh? Maybe, and it's the opposite. I don't know. You choose. Okay. First of all, I like in the heading. I would, of course, inform you why do we choose or why do I choose investment with mortgage in housing above all other investments. I will explain you with details. And before that, I like to point out that there are some news from the world as of today. The Israeli forces announced the United Nations and all the people in southern Gaza to move about 1.5 million people in very short time, like I think it was 24 hours or something. Let me check. Uh, 24 hours, if that's as if it's possible. So we'll see what happens because this is turning into a very wide area concern right now because there is a big plan. It's no longer like the previous ones of like clearing the area or just going in and coming out. This time it's a wipeout type of an operation, so it may get a very strict response. Yesterday, the Iranian foreign minister was going to visit Syria, and they bombed the Syrian airports. Israel and Syria are officially in war. Some people may not understand this because it's another country. They have not signed a peace agreement in 1967, so they are continuously in war. So you may be surprised that why the war was within Israel or Lebanon but why so Syria? Iran is only not officially in war. And it is claimed to be these moves are thought to be uh, against the Iranian nuclear development program before it becomes effective. So we will see where it goes. They are planning to change the whole map of the Middle East, as discussed by geopoliticians. Uh, I have a little bit of geopolitics background. I work for national security organizations for like about 8 years. So I'm an economist, but I have some knowledge of what's going on. So uh, further, not giving further ideas about this, let me explain the economical problems first of all. United States was had a $33 trillion when it applied for to the Congress for a debt ceiling increase. Right now, as it was approved, $600 billion are added in just a few days, like 20 days, 15, 20 days. And it's calculated with the current interest rate increase. It's averaging now 3.5%, the government bond average payment, because they paid ZIRP. ZIRP, you know what ZIRP is? ZIRP, zero interest, okay? Zero interest policy, uh, rate policy, ZIRP, it's called. So, zero interest policy, it was very good. You were just printing money as much as you can, paying nothing. Now things shifted because of inflation exploded. Just like in Turkey, they applied low interest rates for long, and people got loans and made investments. And now inflation exploded to 100%, just like the USA. And now they have to cut back. So now they have to increase the interest rates, but people are so used to cheap loans. I don't know how they're going to survive. And same is goes true for the USA. Now at 5.5%, 6% interest rate, the banks holding the old bonds, which are giving just 0 to 1 or 2%, and it was assumed to be a very nice interest rate. Now they are all going bankrupt because their collaterals are not worth anything, almost half the price. So nobody wants to buy a 2% giving bond when bonds are giving 5-6%. Yesterday, the 30-year US bond sales went terribly. So I like to read some comments from my Twitter account. And okay, the one said about this one: stocks plunge, yields soar after horrific 30-year auction tails, most in 2 years. Okay, so this is one comment made by Zero Hedge. And on the other hand, as I mentioned, the US is adding, okay, and this is from Charlie Bilello. I'm also following the numbers, but I'm just I'm just passing these info from others. Charlie Bilello says the interest expense of US public debt rose to 883 billion, okay, over the past year. Another record high. If it continues to increase at the current pace, it will soon be the largest line item in the federal budget, surpassing Social Security. In my videos, I've been posting videos in Turkish for almost 3 years. To a year ago, I claimed that Fed must be out of his mind, because if they increase the interest rates like this to fight inflation, you cannot fight inflation with increasing rates. You can just kick the can down the road, okay? Because you already printed that money. It's gone. It's finished. It's baked in the cake, okay? So it just delays the coming to the prices. As I explained before, you put all the woods in the stove, it's burning, and now you are calculating the result of prices, like the measuring the temperature of the rooms. You know, wow, oh, wow, it's increasing. How can we reduce? Maybe we should apply some ice, or use a ventilator to cool it off. The temperature reading. So it's a nonsense, but okay, people accept it. They think the prices are the result of prices are the inflation, cause of inflation, whereas no, they are the result of inflation. Okay, so this is a totally different approach from what you will hear on the regular media. So because they never tell you the truth in this sense, then they cannot get your votes. Okay, and so that's why basically right now, at that time, I told that if they keep increasing rates soon in the American budget, this will exceed the American defense budget. And if they continue further, it's going to increase, like Charlie Bilello says, the Social Security total payment, and become the number one payment in American budget, interest, which is nothing. You pay interest, you get nothing. You just get time. Okay, you cannot make bridges, you cannot make roads, you cannot make salary payments. It's all they goes, all your taxes you paid for interest, they go to nothing. Okay, their return is nothing to you. So you should have controlled the loan making facility, whereas the Fed says, I give the government, that's my job, that's within my job description. If they send me a bond, I just give them the money. Okay, so why don't you warn them? Don't increase the and then I have to find you more money. That's not within my job description. My task is different. Okay, so that way there's a very terrible deal going on, as if there is control over money. There is none, because if you cannot tell your wife she's spending like crazy, and you say, "Oh, I'm just obligated to give my wife whatever she uh, spends," and if she's a good spender, shopper, you are bankrupt soon. And just like the same is happening, exactly same is happening. So basically, right now, it's the biggest line item in the US budget. It's getting there very shortly. So all the US Social Security payments, health benefits, this and that, that's going to be second line item. Interest will be the first line item. So I bet they're very scared about this as well. So I have no special animosity against US orienting. It's just facts. Same is happening in my country. Lots of loans and lot of investments, show off investments, and then the resulting is, you cannot even, you can hardly pay the salaries of people. And if you want, and the correction, you can continue like Argentina. Argentina is 133%, but Argentina has IMF. So if Turkey is trying to avoid IMF right now, but it's applying IMF measures, and trying to see if they can hold on to it. So otherwise, it's another Argentina coming, just like, Pakistan and Egypt are also in line for the new Argentina candidates. Okay, so then it's a happy life like Argentinians. You have a 20% of the nation very happy with the inflation, buying and enjoying life, and the other 80% living in the slum yards of the, I don't know, which country you think I should say, which slum yards are the worst? Bangladesh, maybe? Huh? Okay, let's come to the other issue after discussing adding right now, US government is adding $1 trillion of loan, which they had in 200 years, they reached 1 trillion loan. Now, every 45 days, US government is adding 1 trillion more debt to be paid by people, okay, with their taxes, direct taxes or hidden taxes, which is inflation again. So yesterday I heard some Nobel winning economist, saying, okay, we won, we beat the inflation. Yesterday, the inflation numbers came. They are 100% above the target, more than 100% above the target of Fed right now, still. And they are coming to end because they are going bankrupt, could they continue? Why not? You still get paid. So why worry? I mean, continue adding maybe 550, 6, 7, and that's why they are getting help from other bankers that say banksters. They say 7 is good, maybe 8, 9, we should go further. Fine for us, fine for us. We are also paying your taxes, because it's a reserve money. So the amount of you print, but how long can the world carry this much loan? That's a question. So in the end, they can all turn to other items where they can protect themselves, like gold, silver. I'm not like just a gold bug, but anything. I mean, I cannot. I could have invested in barley and wheat, but they don't last long, But that's why we are choosing gold. Gold is just a symbol of a commodity like oil. I cannot keep oil, physical oil, because I need big barrels and tons of locations, warehouses. Gold is small. It does not rust. It does not decay. So that's why gold is preferred. Like the first richest nations of the world are also depending on gold for their collateral. So I deposit in gold, maybe some in silver, but it's a more of a industrial money. So now coming to our real why, okay, invest in gold, invest in stocks, invest in bonds, this and that. Why the housing? That's I like to explain to you. Because only one opportunity is given for any investor. If you deposit $1 for a long term, I'm talking, not for overnight. You can get loans or leverage for overnight with very high interest rates. But for a long term, like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, they give you just put in 20%. There are even cheaper alternatives, but 1%, I heard from Redfin, you put 20% cash down, and you buy the house, and they give you 4 times as much, 80% as a loan. This is only given to housing, okay, residential housing. So what you do, what good is this? You'll pay interest on it, fine, because in the US it's even less of a problem. The reason being, if interest rates keep going up on mortgage payments, uh, if you have taken the loan at 7%, so what? I mean, it's going to go up to 8, 9, 10, 11, right? As Fed increases the rate. You are lucky because you got a cheaper loan. Okay. Now, if the opposite happens, you bought the house with a 7, 8% loan, and now things are getting better. They are declining interest rates. It's coming down 6, 5, 4, 3. Fine. You can just always go and reapply to renew your mortgage in the US. So you apply for a renewal, and because there's such a expensive interest rate, few houses on the for sale in the USA, uh, the house prices should fall, but they don't, because they only went down in some areas. Most areas they are even going up. The reason being, how can they go up when fewer people are buying? Because fewer people are putting their houses in sale in USA. Because if they sell their house, which is taken on a 3% mortgage, now they have to buy a new home. It's going to cost them 8% mortgage. So they say, I'm not putting my house on market. I'll just wait. So as everybody keeps waiting, it's not the quantity of houses available in a country and location. It's how many houses are up for sale. So if you have hundreds and thousands of houses, if they are not good open for sale, you don't have houses to buy. So that's the situation that's happening in the USA. Um, the houses on sale in the ads are reduced so drastically. There is only 2-3 months sales supply sold on the market. Normally, this is six times. 6 months sales must be available in the ads. To buy a house. Normally, it's down to 3. Why? I explained. Nobody wants to sell their house because there's a different situation in USA and from country to country. For example, in the USA, the rental fees are much higher compared to my country. Here, it's a good deal if you can find 13, 14 years rent paying the house price. It's an extremely good deal. It can go up to 25, 30, 35 times the rent. So, but in the state, a good deal is like 120 rents and buying the house, okay? And right now, I'm checking in like Las Vegas, it's 160 rents buying the house, so which is still extremely nice, But as I said, could things get worse? Fine for a buyer of a house. Would I buy a house in the USA if I was able to pay the rent and monthly fees? Yes, I would. Why? Because I can always refinance. If things like I explained to you a minute ago, I can refinance, get the new loan at 3%. And so in the meantime, because I'm paying 8%, I'm buying the house cheaper. It's calculated in the USA. Every 1% increase in the and decrease, just think of oppositely, decrease in interest rates, 1%, let's say it's down from 8 to 7, 7 to 6, 10% increase or decrease in the price of houses. Okay, every 1% is equivalent to 10% of increase or decrease. So why buy with a mortgage even if you have cash? Okay, the reason is you increase your ROI, return on investment. You just put down 20. So if you are a professional buyer, not like someone looking for his own family's dwelling only residence, then you buy 3 houses instead of 1. Just put the down payments, rent them out, the renters will start paying. So you don't have to wait 30 years. You can get a 30-year loan. You'll never wait 30 years. You just transfer it. Once the interest rates come down, house prices go up, and 3, 4, 5 years, you can always sell the house. You don't have to wait till the end of the last mortgage payment being made. So that's everybody who's not familiar with this. are astonished, like saying, I got a 10-year loan in Turkey, so I have to wait 10 years. No, it's like a company. You buy a share of, let's say, Coca-Cola. What's the end date? There is none. It's indefinite. So putting an end date, it doesn't matter. You can always buy today the share and sell tomorrow. It doesn't matter if it's indefinite or not. Same with bonds. Bonds have maturity dates. You don't have to wait for the maturity. You can always just sell it the next day with that price, but not with 1% interest. Nobody's gonna like it. When the new interest rates are close to 5%, nobody wants to buy your bonds, government bonds. So, well, isn't this a good opportunity? It's giving 5%. When Fed says 2% will be the new, if you're believing it, yes, it's a very good opportunity. But what if it stays around 4 or 5% and it starts going up again? How long can you control the oil prices? In California, a gallon of gas, I'm following all the world. Don't worry. $8 right now for per gallon. It used to be like $3, $2 per gallon. So, and U.S. oil production increased extremely in the last few days just to match the cuts the Russia and Saudi Arabia are applying. How long can you continue this? So these are all issues waiting for the future. And also on food items, there is no comparison. Like we had an inflation rate of like 3% yesterday, 3-4%. The car insurance rates went up 15-16%. So the prices are not adjusted according to the interest rate announced by the BLS. What is BLS? Bureau of Labor Statistics. They don't trust them, or not trusting them. Everything is one single inflation number is nonsense, because it's not even true for, even if you want to be candid and be truthful, still you can't find a good interest rate, because you may have a car, I may not have a car. You may own the house, I may just rent the house. Uh, you may have children going to college and tuition and university. I may not have children or not going to university with tuition. So, are our is our inflation's number same? No, nothing close. So, and so even if you calculate the very unimportant interest rate, which excludes uh, food, gas, and heating, and this and that, that's even that's increasing. So imagine when what happens when the flexible ones are increasing. So basically, what you do, you buy the house, you wait for the interest rates to come down in the future. That's what's being offered to you by the Fed. So if they do, then you just sell the house at a higher price, or houses, 3 of them, 4 of them, whatever you can afford as a down payment. Now, this is becoming a very good opportunity in the USA, because your inflation was high. Like in the past 3 years, US dollar had 20% inflation. So if you had $100,000 3 years ago, you only have 80,000. This is BLS value, by the way. You may have a lot less. $80,000 purchasing power left. Okay, it's gone with the wind. Okay, gone with the wind. You watched the movie Gone with the Wind, huh? And so better opportunities are only available in countries like mine, where interest rates were extremely high and where very cheap rates were offered. They are not offered any longer, but it's still good, still good, because of some, let's say, religious beliefs. It was applied that interest is not acceptable, but it's a part of life, because although they say it in the budget, the interest, like the U.S. budget, is the top portion. So you have to pay it while you're paying taxes. So you cannot avoid paying interest rates. Anyway, so what happened is, like, we bought houses with very low down payments about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and I supported my channel followers. Go ahead and buy as much as you can. Don't bother about the, and At that time, they offered 1 year no payment, 14 year in an inflationary environment, 14-year mortgages. So people just bought the house. They didn't pay much, okay? And what happened? The inflation exploded, house prices exploded. So I made incredibly, and my followers made incredibly high gains from inflation because governments are printing money to decrease their loans in terms of purchasing power, because, like as I said, your $100,000 is $80,000 now. Same for the government's loan. Governments can say, "I don't own people any 100,000. It's 80,000 now." Okay, so I acted like a government. I said I should get as much as loan as possible and melt my loan with the inflation rate. So this happened so quickly, I couldn't even imagine making. I was expecting 10-15% inflation. It proved to be like last couple of years, house prices went up by in 4 years by 1,000%, tenfold. Okay, so the loan I had melted away because it's a fixed rate loan, 10 times. Okay, so can you imagine the money I made? I don't have to wait 30 years. I can just pay off the money right away and have the 100% of the house equity. But in Turkey, there are things that do not apply like you have in the States, which is, if I were in States, I'd really make it big, I can tell you. Here, the reason being there is no HELOC, okay? You cannot get an additional, like your price of your house went up, so you go to the loan officer and say, my house was $400,000, now it's $600,000. Come and check my house and give me additional 100,000 loan. Okay, so with that 100,000 loan, you don't intend to pay the house loan anyway. You just want to keep the control of the house. You go buy another two houses, okay, and do the same, rent them out and turn over. That's the way it is. This is the highest return on investment you can receive. So basically, here, although the houses are all paid off, if I go and say, okay, I'm closing the price, the total mortgage, now give me a loan. You cannot get for your own personal loan a mortgage in Turkey. You have to buy it from someone totally different. Even if you buy from a family member, husband, friends, this and that, they don't give you a mortgage, okay? Nor you can refinance it that way. Otherwise, all I can do, I can lend my house as a collateral, get a 36 months loan, which is high interest on only 36 months. That's the only possibility I have. Or I have one solution. I can sell my house, because if you wait 5 years in Turkey and keep the house for 5 years, you live in it or rent it, it doesn't matter. You pay zero income taxes, zero. Okay, not like US. You don't have to buy another house in 3 months to defer your taxes. Here it's just vanished. Okay, all the money you made from that house is all yours. So what you can do, you can sell the house and go buy two houses. But now they also blocked people having more than one house, buying two, three, third mortgages. But it's temporary, because economy, if they don't allow the rich people or smart people to make more houses, the renter problem will increase like geometrically. Okay, and Turkey is adding 600,000 people population every year, whereas you need 200,000 additional flats, units, okay, for residents. So if you're not adding that, you are in big trouble. You need tents. So this situation is also lived to a smaller extent in Netherlands, in Germany, I know in the European countries, and even in the USA. Rental fees are increasing because people are not selling the house, they are renting it out. Okay, so rental fees are going up because there is more competition. Nobody wants to buy the new house, they want to rent. So now you have competition for renting. Okay, so only way you can beat inflation, this is not our issue, we are just consumers and people trying to make money from our money. But for governmental issue, they must allow the production of houses as fast as, uh, how do I say it, storm, okay, like the Hurricane Gloria. They must build so fast, okay, otherwise no supply, very high prices for rental and for houses, okay. So this cannot last more than a couple of years. 1 year you cannot feel it very badly, then you can claim that Airbnb is causing these houses being empty. Third year people keep coming, okay. You need additional 200,000 houses. And Turkey is about one third or one fourth the population of United States. So if we need 200,000 houses, because you have immigration as well, you need about 600 to 800,000 houses, new houses built every year. Okay, and if it's not building, you're in big trouble. Okay, and this is very good news for the Friday the 13th. And I wish you all a very nice day. I tried to put the captions in English. It does not accept both languages. I have to enter it in Turkish. So I don't have such a time. So you may open the English captions maybe. Uh, See you all and have a nice time. I know most of my watchers are from Turkey right now, but I don't mind because it's helping people anyway. It's developing their economic language, and foreigners can also use my knowledge to make money from money, multiply, leverage, but not risky leverage like Forex, okay? I'm just talking 10 years loans, paying easy, fixed loans like Canada. People got burned, okay, because they don't give you fixed rates in Canada. They give you only for 5 years. At the end of the fifth year, if you're unlucky and your fifth year is already finished, now you are paying 2-3%. Now they're offering 8-9%. You're burned, okay. So this is not the situation. I'm always talking never adjustable rates, okay, fixed rates, because you can always refinance. Why bother about being so don't be so frugal, okay, be frugal, don't be so frugal. Okay, see you later, bye bye.